everybody. Today's video is going to be kind of piggybacking off of our last video about how we did not have any injuries during the spring season this past year, and we really attribute that to our style of training and how we go about our training, about coaching and that kind of deal. So the biggest thing is training at the same intensity as the sport demands.
Yeah, definitely. And in a game where you play and it's 100% and then about 20 to 25 seconds off or rest, you have to train that way, right? So what we do is we do a lot of max effort or high intensity lifts followed by a good amount of rest, right? To emulate the style or the way baseball is played.
Now, let me stop you. When Aaron mentioned rest, we see a lot of training programs where people have come to us and be like, hey, this is what I've done. And there's not much rest in between lifts, as in like squats, deadlifts, cleans, kind of stuff. And when you're doing these kind of lifts, you need to rest. Because if you're not getting your rest that's needed, you're not going to be able to produce as much power during the lift, and you're not going to get the results.
That's it right there. Because a lot of people, they'll do 135, but they'll just do it for 4 sets, 135, and just get right into it, right into the next set, right? You got to go one set, have rest until you're ready to go at peak performance again. So yeah, and that's one of the reasons why our program it has kept so many guys healthy, right? If you're going to go do yoga, right, how much effort do you actually give in yoga? Or Pilates, how much effort, right? If you're not giving 100% or close to 100%, if you're given 10%, it doesn't emulate the baseball movement. So what's happening is you're giving 10%, 10%, 10%. Go play a baseball game, 100%, okay? 10%, 10%, 100%. You're just bound to get hurt because you're not ready for the loads it puts on your body. There's a ton of loads that are put on your body from baseball. Not only twisting motions, but squatting motions, a lot of lower back, a lot of arm injuries we see a lot, and if you're not training at the same intensity, you're not ready. You can't just turn it on. You can't just show up and give 100% and not expect to get injured. It's tough.
It's 0 to 100 pitching. You got to create the velocity. How do you do it? You got to go move fast. Hitting, same thing. It's the idea, and before you even get into that, you got to teach the correct movement patterns of how your body works. Not just, hey, just go up there and swing as hard as you can. You got to teach the biomechanics of swinging, the biomechanics of throwing. Because if you just hop into a lift or whatever it may be, there's not really any programming, you can get hurt that way as well by training. So you got to first create good movement patterns, and good habits is a big thing of it too.
Yeah. So working at that 100% with good intent, good movement patterns creates an atmosphere. So when you show up to a baseball game, you say, hey, you know what? For the last 3 days, or even the last 6 months, I've been operating at 100%. So this is nothing. This is usual. This is average.
Getting into 100%. Okay, when you're running a mile, are you giving 100% all the time? At this age, probably not. Okay, so what do you usually give 100% at? Short sprints that relate to baseball. Home to first, first to third, second to home, tagging up from third to score at home. Okay, running a mile isn't probably going to help you with that. It's the quick start sprints. It's all the stuff that we have in our program, but just make sure that when you're doing exercise or training on your own or wherever it may be, think about how it relates to what you're doing and how you're trying to get to the next level.
And that's the biggest thing. Make sure when you look at a program, you're about to go on a program, make sure it emulates what you're about to do in a baseball game. So.
Yeah, and it's big, and there's too much of the kind of mechanics going on. Just getting back to, we talked a little about the movement patterns. There's too much stuff that's mechanical, and you're not letting yourself be athletic and let the body move as it should. And that's another important part that we talk about. And we don't talk about it enough in the sense of getting out to the public. The people who come into us, they see it every day, but getting it out and how important that is to staying healthy and improving your performance. So that's our deal on our training philosophy and how we go about our day-to-day operations at BST. So if you have any questions, please reach out to us, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, baseball specific training. Please reach out to us, and hope to see you guys soon.